is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. So today, in preparation of the Captain Marvel movie coming out this week, I thought I'd go ahead and talk about my girl, Carol Danvers. Now, I already know because some of you that I've spoken to in the comments hate Carol Danvers. I don't get it, but yeah, hey, you do you, boo. I'm going to talk about her anyway because I like Carol Danvers, so there you go. But before we get started, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click. Carol Danvers was created by Roy Thomas and Gene Colan and made her first appearance in Marvel's Superheroes number 13 in 1968. But she technically has a lot of first appearances under her belt. She also made her first appearance as Miss Marvel in Miss Marvel number 1 in 1977, and in Uncanny X-Men number 164 in 1982, she made her debut as Binary, and in Avengers number 4 in 1998, she came back as Warbird. It wasn't until Avenging Spider-Man number 9 in 2012 when she took on the mantle of Captain Marvel and became the character that is about to join the MCU. Carol Danvers' original origin story revolved around her relationship with the original Captain Marvel, the Kree alien known as Mar-Vell, who at the time was masquerading as Dr. Walter Lawson. During an explosion of the Psyche Magnetron, Carol was caught in the blast radius, and though Captain Marvel was able to save her, the explosion of the Magnetron fused her DNA with Captain Marvel's Kree DNA, thus giving her Kree abilities. Now, this was later retconned during the Life of Captain Marvel miniseries that began in late 2018 and ended at the beginning of this year, 2019, that the explosion was not what gave her Kree DNA, but from her being born from the forbidden union of a Kree and a human. But the explosion still plays a major role in her emergence as a superhero, since the explosion of the Psyche Magnetron activated her powers that were held dormant by her human physiology. When it comes to powers, Carol's got a pretty interesting setup. Carol Danvers has what I always affectionately call the Superhuman power grab bag. That means she has superhuman strength, endurance, stamina, durability, agility, and reflexes. At this particular point in publication, her strength is potent enough to support well over 100 tons, and that's when she's not even breaking a sweat. This is even proven in Jason Aaron's recent Avengers run, as she's able to support the dead weight of a Celestial. Thanks to her superhuman stamina, her body produces considerably less fatigue toxins. She's been able to overexert herself at peak capacity for up to 24 hours before she would even begin to feel tired. Now, thanks to an ability that I'm going to mention a little later, she actually can negate this just simply by absorbing energy. As far as her superhuman durability goes, she is able to shrug off high caliber bullets, terminal velocity falls, extreme temperatures, and high impact energy blasts, all without sustaining any kind of injury. And like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to energy absorption, this raises its ability even further. Of course, what superhero would be worth anything if they didn't have a healing factor? And as you would imagine, Carol has a healing factor. And as a result of this, she has decelerated aging. It's been stated by Beast, Dr. Hank McCoy, that she will probably remain in the prime of her life forever. Now, granted, I know a lot of Wolverine stans won't care for this very much, but Beast also said that her healing abilities would put Wolverines to shame. Then again, many other superheroes have healing factors that would put Wolverines to shame, but hey, it's the only thing he's got, so we gotta let him have it. Carol is capable of flight at 6 times the speed of sound. She can planet hop in a matter of seconds. After being experimented on by the Brood in Uncanny X-Men number 164, Carol spent time as Binary, a character powered by the White Hole. Minds out of the gutter, gentlemen. It's the reverse of a black hole. Anyways, as Binary, she had full control over stellar energy, allowing her to manipulate heat as well as the electromagnetic spectrum and gravity. Despite losing access to the energy source of the White Hole, she still has access to some of the abilities from her time as Binary. She can both absorb energy and project it into a photonic form that results in devastating energy blasts. She can even assume her Binary form, but only temporarily if empowered with a high enough infusion of energy. Think of it as her temporarily turning Super Saiyan. Carol can survive in the vacuum of space unaided. She also has limited precognitive sense, and thanks to her half-Kree physiology, she is immune to most poisons and toxins. One of her trademarks is her ability to unleash explosive blasts of radiant energy from her fingertips. On top of that, she can also absorb most forms of kinetic and elemental energies to empower herself beyond her normal limits without harm. She can use this ability to amplify her already impressive strength and energy projection up to the force of an exploding nuclear weapon. If she takes on enough energy, she can withstand the pressure from a 92-ton weight, as well as deliver hand-to-hand strikes with the exact same force. Hank Pym was even noted as saying that this particular measurement is nowhere near her upper limits. The only energy Carol Danvers has trouble absorbing is magic, at least not without suffering the effects of the magic in question. Now, of course, thanks to her military background, she is highly trained in armed and unarmed combat. And of course, while she was in the US Air Force, she became a decorated pilot, to the point that she became an expert pilot, not just with normal military aircraft, but also with Kree, Shi'ar, and other alien-type ships. Now, if you judged her based on how she tends to handle problems straight on, and isn't afraid to solve things with her fists, you would be forgiven if you forgot that she's also an accomplished spy. During her time working with Air Force intelligence, she used to work many an undercover operation. And as one would expect from a super spy, she's actually quite fluent in both English, Russian, Rajaki, Shi'ar, Kree, and a laundry list of other alien languages. Now let's talk about some interesting factoids about Carol Danvers, and these can kind of range from accomplishments to maybe more dubious honors. Carol boasts membership in the all-female superhero team A-Force, is also the leader of the Alpha Flight space program, is a card-carrying member of both the Avengers, New Avengers, and the Mighty Avengers, has also been a part of the Defenders, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Starjammers, and she was once a part of the Infinity Watch. She has also been affiliated with the X-Men, and she is also on the super team, the Ultimates, alongside Blue Marvel, Spectrum, America Chavez, and Black Panther. She is also a decorated officer in the United States Air Force, as well as once being the security director of NASA, and she's also worked as an agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. Speaking of NASA, she was once forced to give up her position as security director for the organization when she refused to give up the identity of the Kree alien Mar-Vell, who at the time was one of her closest confidants. In Avengers Annual number 10 in 1981, she was famously attacked by Rogue, where she sapped Carol of all her Kree powers and memories. But due to Carol's strength and power, Rogue had to hold on to Carol longer than usual, resulting in permanent power and memory retention, which Rogue maintained for many years. Carol's psyche even haunted Rogue for some time until Rogue went through the Siege Perilous, and the two personas were separated. Some people mistakenly assume Carol Danvers was in a coma because of the X-Men animated series of the 90s, but in fact, Carol was still around and kicking. During the Siege story arc, when Carol was still Miss Marvel, the Venom symbiote, who was bonded to Spider-Man villain the Scorpion, got a taste of Carol's power and left Matt Gargan high and dry, thanks to being drunk on cosmic power for the first time, though Carol did manage to trick the symbiote into overpowering itself, forcing it to leave her. Carol Danvers' iteration of Captain Marvel was cited by the Marvel Cinematic Universe guru Kevin Feige in 2014 as one of the most fan-requested characters to be added to the MCU alongside Black Panther. Carol Danvers is not the first Captain Marvel. Mar-Vell is the first Captain Marvel in Marvel Comics, who debuted in 1967. Carol is actually the seventh. After Mar-Vell, Monica Rambeau took on the name in 1982, but she is completely unrelated to Mar-Vell in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Genus Vell, the genetically engineered son of Mar-Vell, came along in 1993 and picked up the mantle, though oddly enough, he later took on a moniker that previous Captain Marvel Monica Rambeau would later use, Photon. Phyla Vell became the 4th Captain Marvel in 2004 and is Genus Vell's younger sister. And it's here we realize her and her brother's names are science puns. Connor became the 5th Captain Marvel in 2007, but was a Skrull sleeper agent who activated during Secret Invasion. But thanks to his mental conditioning being effed in the B, his Kree persona remained intact, and he helped fight back against the Skrull invasion, dying in the process. Novar became Captain Marvel in 2009 during the Dark Reign story arc and acted as one of Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers. He would later drop the name and become Protector instead, leaving the door open to Carol to pick up the mantle. I mentioned earlier that, she was the 7th Captain Marvel and how Mar-Vell was the 1st. Well, technically not, and I'm not going into the minutia of all this about, how Shazam was the original Captain Marvel, but one of the things Marvel is very tongue-in-cheek about is the fact that Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, Shazam, does exist in the Marvel Universe. And they've even teased this throughout various comics throughout the years, but as far back as Uncanny X-Men number 153, Carol Danvers is wearing a shirt with the symbol of Shazam on it. Carol Danvers at one point did work for J. Jonah Jameson at the Daily Bugle, though as you would imagine, when it comes to having 2 Type 8 personalities in the same room, it didn't last long. But she did actually spend time as a freelance writer and magazine editor even outside of the Daily Bugle. Carol also has an amazing cat by the name of Chewie, who is just the most adorable thing you'd ever see, until you realize he's an alien known as a Flurkin, an alien species that resemble cats with mouths full of thousands of tentacles, and also their bodies just happen to hold pockets of realities and bubbles of space-time continuum within them. Nothing major. You'll see this cat in the Captain Marvel movie, only they changed his name from Chewie to Goose, because, Top Gun references. She's been romantically linked to many characters during her time in the Marvel Universe, ranging from Spider-Man to Wonder Man, and is now currently booed up with War Machine James Rhodes. But now that he's back from the dead, they've actually, in some way, renewed their relationship. Speaking of Civil Wars, she is one of the few characters who can boast being involved in both events and arguably being on the wrong side both times. Having sided with Tony in the first superhero Civil War and then later leading the charge against Tony during the second. She was originally meant to be Jessica Jones' best friend / sister figure in the Marvel Netflix series titled Jessica Jones, but this was nixed and Trish Walker was used instead because they felt she would have made a better fit as a character. She was also intended to appear as a cameo in Avengers Age of Ultron, but this was cut due to not wanting to overload an already bloated cast of characters. Now let's talk about Captain Marvel when it comes to media appearances. Carol Danvers showed up in the critically acclaimed Saban's X-Men animated series in the 90s, voiced by Roscoe Hanford, in the episode A Rogue's Tale. Tina Nelson voices Carol Danvers in the Spider-Woman motion comic Spider-Woman Agent of S.W.O.R.D. Miss Marvel is a regular in the cartoon series The Superhero Squad Show, voiced by Grey DeLisle. She also appeared in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, one of my favorite animated series of all time, that was woefully cut short to reboot the series for young fans of the MCU. Here, she's voiced by the incomparable Jennifer Hale, who most of you may know as the voice of Femshep in Mass Effect, and we see the classic origin of Carol Danvers becoming Miss Marvel. Captain Marvel later appears in the MCU version of the Avengers cartoon series that replaced my beloved Avengers Earth Mightiest, in varying degrees of capacity ranging from cameos and non-voiced appearances to later becoming more of a regular on the series by the time of the Ultron Revolution story arc, where she is once again voiced by Grey DeLisle. Grey DeLisle also voices her yet again in the Christmas TV special Marvel Superhero Adventures Frostfight and in the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series. Now when it comes to films, of course we know that she is going to be played by Brie Larson in the upcoming 2019 Captain Marvel live action movie, but she's also made an appearance in the anime film Avengers Confidential, Black Widow and Punisher, as well as the 2018 animated film Marvel Rising Secret Warriors, where she's voiced by Kim Raver. You can also spot Carol Danvers in the Marvel Universe live stage show, where she's portrayed as being Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel has appeared in various and sundry video games, almost too many to list, but do it live! As Miss Marvel, Carol's had playable roles in the PSP version of X-Men Legends 2, Rise of Apocalypse, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, Marvel Superhero Squad, the Facebook game Marvel Avengers Alliance, and LEGO Marvel Superheroes. She's popped up as both Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel in the Diablo-styled Marvel Heroes game, Marvel Contest of Champions, LEGO Marvel's Avengers, Marvel Puzzle Quest, and Marvel Future Fight. As Captain Marvel, she's appeared in Marvel Avengers Alliance Tactics, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2, Marvel Avengers Academy, and Marvel Powers United VR. Now, normally in these videos I do fan casting, and considering that Brie Larson was cast as Carol Danvers in the upcoming Captain Marvel film this week, and I'll be brutally honest, I have absolutely zero issue with her casting. So it feels weird to do a fan casting. Ever since I saw her in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Community, I always kept my eye on her. Then when I saw her in Kong Skull Island and The Room, she sold me even more. But anyways, you let me know what factoids about Captain Marvel I left out. Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers and tap that bell so you know when I post up. And if you want to become one of Earth's mightiest patrons as well, swing on over by patreon.com/blerdwithoutfear. And if you chuck in a buck, you can get some exclusive content. And if you don't want to become one of Earth's mightiest patrons, that's fine too. Hey, all I ask is that you like this video and share it with your friends. And who knows, maybe they'll become some of Earth's mightiest subscribers too. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and while you're here, go ahead and check out some of these other videos I got floating around here. But until next time, plus ultra!